Welcome. I've taken a little walk in my hometown where I grew up to look around the churchyard for the snowdrops. This is the river, well, it's a stream actually. I walked over to get to the Priory, and as you can see, with all the rain that the UK's had, it's up to quite a high mark. It's actually not as flooded as it has been, but it is flowing quite fast. But anyway, I hope you like to come on my journey with me. There are a few sections where the sun gets caught in some of the clips. It's 19.5 minutes long, so 20 minutes. But anyway, this is the hometown I grew up in, and the church that I have played in the brass band in, gone to church in, been to people's weddings in, funerals in, and yeah, here we go. This is the Priory. I'll put a link in the YouTube clip down below to give you some of the history. It's really old. It has one of the only surviving ducking stalls left in the country. That's when they used to put women on the end of a long piece of wood and duck them in water, and if they stayed alive, they were witches, and if they died, they would get that. Anyway, we have to preserve these things to remind people that, we're not barbarians anymore. So this is the entrance I would have gone in as a child to play in the brass band. It's not open very often, I don't think, now. Yeah, the sun does get in a bit. Some of the windows are stained glass. I'm not sure if these are. It's not very clear on the movie. Anyway, here I come. Here I am. I thought I'd give you some perspective of how tall it is, but this doesn't really do it. It's putting me in the perspective. But anyway, if you see that door behind me, I probably only come 3/4 of the way up. So there's still a graveyard here. I don't think it's used anymore. When I was a kid, you could actually read what was on these gravestones, but these days you can't, and a lot of gravestones are missing, they've fallen over. I don't think anything's being kept up. Where I pause now, that tall building in the very background there is where I went to school when I was, 7 to 11. That's now a community centre, and most of it's gone, but the old building still remains. So we go around this corner and we'll find the entrance where you go in to the church. It's open every day, and yeah, this was stunning now, because as I move further on, the light on the back of the church was just amazing. I think the video is capturing it a little bit, but inside would have been amazing, but I didn't want to go inside today. Trying to pick up the stained glass windows because there are images on these, but I think you can make out a little bit. Me again with some perspective, and just trying to get the light. I'm off on my walk now, and so I wanted to do a talk over because I'm puffing and panting at this point, and I'm not sure why. I think this is an iPhone 12 that I'm filming this on. I'd love to get a GoPro. I've left the sound in because the bird song and the kids playing in the playground and all of that gives it, I don't know, a special meaning. Anyway, there's lots of molehills around, lots of mud. I was very careful walking. So over that wall is where the playground is still there. Obviously there's all soft stuff underneath, and the slide's about 1/4 of the size it used to be. I think us kids in our day were, allowed to fall down, and I don't know if anybody broke their neck falling off the slide, but that was pretty high. Anyway, here's our first lot of snowdrops. Get my words out. Here's the first lot of snowdrops with some daffodils and weeds. There was lots of weeds everywhere, which was a bit of a shame, but I believe that they leave weeds nowadays. So these snowdrops were fully out because they were fully in the sun. Later on in the video you'll see lots of snowdrops, but they weren't out because they were in the shade. Yeah, there's the church. And as you can see I think there's lots and lots of people buried under my feet here, going back hundreds of years, because it's been a significantly used burial ground for the church. And here's another lot of snowdrops. If you can see that, oh no, we've zoomed out. There was a person walking in the background, and that's as far as you can see. You can see snowdrops, the white. Yeah, again, my filming isn't great. I think the bells go off at this point. I'm not sure if this talkover will stop the main recording, but I hope you can hear through it. Right, we're off again, down to another patch of snowdrops. I think it's at this point I found a lone snowdrop on the path, looking a bit sad and muddy. Here he is, surviving. I wonder how many times he's been trodden on. Yeah, look at that. Bit of arty videoing there. But now you're starting to see the snowdrops. All that white is snowdrops. It's incredible. So I came here a couple of weeks ago, and there was some out, but not many. And a lady walking her dog said, come back in a couple of weeks. So I have. And yeah, it's amazing. Oh, there's the playground you can see in between the trees. This part of the video is where the sun caught the camera quite a bit, but it was so pretty here. You've got the nice brick wall, a few gravestones, and then the snowdrops. Apparently they self-seed. I thought they were bulbs, but I don't know. I might do some research again, put a link in the video below, because these weren't here when I was a kid, so I know there was snowdrops, but not like this. We used to play in the graveyard sometimes if we were brave enough, but we were told haunting stories, so we weren't there often. Oh, here's another arty shot. Cool, eh? It doesn't seem as eerie as it used to be when I was a kid. It seems quite sad, really. You know, a lot of the gravestones have fallen, and I don't know where they've put them. Used to put them along the wall and line them up, but I couldn't see any. Here's a fully open bunch. I have a special place in my heart for snowdrops. It was one of my grandmother's favourites, and my mum painted a picture of a tree stump with some snowdrops, and my grandmother had it for years, and then I was able to have that when my grandmother passed, which was really nice, because yeah, I don't collect a lot of things, but that picture's nice. And some of you that know me, been in my home, would know that picture possibly. Oh, I'm saying hello. So I'm slowing down a bit here because there's a gentleman in front of me walking his two dogs, beautiful dogs, a chocolate lab and a black lab, and he's on crutches. He's walking very slowly, but the dogs are running all around, and I just wanted to give him some time, so I've paused at the weeds to show the beauty through the weeds. And then these snowdrops under the canopy here were quite closed. I think they were waiting for the sun to hit them. Here we go, another arty shot for you. And there's the playground. Still got the same swings, but new seats obviously, because yeah, they would have long gone, but the frames that were there when we were kids are still there for the swings. My bottom doesn't fit on a swing anymore. Not that I'm that big, but obviously children are small. So again, now we're under the canopy walking through. Right, so this is a catkin tree. So I remember catkins as a kid. I was fascinated by them. They're cat's tails, is what we were told, but they're obviously not. But these come out in spring, or just before spring, so it's a good sign the weather's about to change and we're about to see more sunshine. And today the sunshine came out and was stunning. And we've had weeks and weeks of rain, and then it was supposed to snow today, and no, the sun came out. And actually I only had a body warmer on today. Oh, that's a monkey tree pointing at it. Yeah, I don't know why it's called a monkey tree, but that's what we called it as kids. It was just so stunning. Somebody's grave with snowdrops on. They died in 1988, the year before my son was born. Quite interesting that they were still burying people in the 80s there. I don't know why I zoomed in on this. I think it's because they're so tightly shut and the other ones were so tightly opened, but you can still see the white bed. And again, the gentleman that was walking in front of me had slowed down a bit. He was doing really well. I mean, there's one of the labs. So this is the spot where catkins meets snowdrops. And I haven't touched a catkin maybe 30 odd years. So I was like, oh yeah. So it's really funny. I thought they were quite a lot thicker than what I remember them, but they're quite light and fluffy. And then underneath is the snowdrops with the church in the background. And that tree was amazing too, because the branches were going up. I think I'm walking around to show you that, maybe. More graves. Yeah. Haven't seen a lot of love in ages. But yeah, you can see some of the stones have fallen over. I wonder if they take them somewhere to keep them safe. Be interesting to know. Anyway, this tree was fascinating. See all the branches going up from the... So branches go out and then branches go up. I just thought it was fascinating. Again, it's the catkin tree, so I'll maybe get a link to put in about a catkin tree. Cat's tails. So now we're going to walk back to the church. Bear in mind that it doesn't look very much slopey, but it's going uphill. That building behind the church was used to be the Priory Hospital, and it used to have a small casualty A&E there, but that long time ago. And I'm not sure what it is now. It's not a rest home or a nursing home. I don't know if it's a private hospital or old age care, but it's not a place that I need to visit on my work. Anyway, we're taking one last look around, whizzing back to that catkin tree. I just think it's a beautiful tree. Be fascinating to paint. Right, now we're going to get out of breath and walk up this hill. Actually, it doesn't look like much of a hill though. I think that the camera on the iPhone 12 must be quite sensitive to any noise, so even if you're just breathing a bit heavier than usual, it picks it up. Again, I don't know what this tree is, but it just caught my eye and fascinating. So this was a little bit of a slope up, and I just noticed these mole hills going all the way up the hill. So a little mole is quite an English thing, I think, and lots of people who have lawns pull the hair out trying to get rid of them, because they will destroy a lawn by digging lots of tunnels and leaving the dirt on top. So now we're going to the back of the church, walking up a little bit of a bank to see the back end. And now I've never been behind the church this way, ever. So I think it's because I had my walking boots on and I thought I'm going exploring. So I come across this stairwell over what I think was part of the old church. So there is a part of the church that was built at one point in the, 12th century or something, that was the first church, and then another church was built, and then another church. I think these windows are stained glass as well. And so that's the wall of the old church, which they've left, which is amazing. There we go, I'm zooming in. Not very well, but zooming in. Maybe people used to climb over it, so they've put steps over it. My walking boots. See, that's part of the hospital, the old Priory Hospital, and I don't know what it is now. But this is the back of the church, so the altar sits underneath that window. That's that old wall that was there that I stepped over. So you can see it's part of a older church. Here's the steps. So it's quite a decent part of the wall still left. And this is the garden. So I remember going there when I cut my finger as a kid and getting it glued up. And these are the back windows. You can sort of make out that they're stained, but you can't make out the picture. I think if you go inside. Anyway, I've come around the side and I've never noticed, I've been down that road there a lot. I've never noticed, but these are wooden windows. And that's the main front of the church. I'm going to come back because these are wooden windows. So I think, again, this part of the church is older than the other side of the church. But I was just fascinating. I hadn't got any idea that these were wooden windows. Fascinating. These aren't, they are stained glass, but they're not. I've got any images on them. It's in really good nick. I was going to say, it's such an English saying. It's in good nick for its age, and the buildings around it, I would have thought, would have belonged to the church in the day. The school that I went to was part probably of the church. There's another wooden window we're coming up to. And a stunning day, stunning. I can't believe it. I was going to wear my big thick coat out because it was frosting this morning. But then I came outside and checked, and it's not warm, but it's warmer than it's been. Again, we thought we'd put my head in for perspective, but it doesn't do it justice. I think you can only get perspective when you take a photo with yourself standing next to it. So that's the Priory Church, where I grew up. Oh, that's a stained window. Beautiful. Stunning. Anyway, so I'm going to finish off here. Thanks for watching and getting to the end. I hope you appreciate my little walk of history. I will put a link down below about the linking a website that gives you all the history of the Priory Church. It's a Church of England church. And yeah, this is the little lane beside it that goes down to what was the Priory Hospital, which I might find out if it's still around. So this is where we started on this front. So thanks for coming along.